Okay, well, thank you all so much for attending this morning. My name is Aaron Newnham, and I am here today presenting on behalf of Convenience and Car Wash. My business, TMD Winnipeg, is a small digital marketing agency, and we're designed exclusively to support and to help small business establish a strong digital footprint and to help them navigate this ever-changing digital landscape. Today's presentation is called Grow Your Digital Footprint and Establish a Strong and Positive Reputation Online. So as we go through this, if you have any questions, please feel free to just note them in the Q&A section on the left-hand side. I may not answer them as we go through the presentation, but I certainly will answer all your questions when we get to the end of the presentation. So the traditional buying model and the way that we as consumers used to purchase products and services has changed so much over the years. Initially, the way that a consumer journey was structured is something like this. We would be made aware of a product or service through traditional advertising. So we might see an ad in the newspaper or an ad in the phone book, or even a billboard, for example. So that stimulus would be created, and then we would make the decision right there and then as to whether we wanted to take that next step to make the purchase. So we would either visit the business or we would call the business. And then we would share our experience with family and friends. So, stimulus was created, we'd make the decision to do business, and then we'd share our experience with family and friends. Well, what's changed and the reason today's consumer journey is so different is that stimulus still exists. So there are still traditional advertising vehicles, and we're still made aware of new products and services through advertising. But the very next thing that almost all of us do is search for that product or service. So we go online, we go to Google, we go to different social media platforms. We look for information about that product or service online. And only then do we make the decision as to whether we want to take that next step and do business with that particular company. And then, of course, we still share our experience with family and friends. Now, over the last number of years, steady increases year on year have indicated that more and more of us are making that decision to make a purchase and to do business with a company online. So as you can see there, in 2017, 85% of us made the decision to do business with a company before we even visited their store or before we even called their store. In 2018, 92% of consumers read online reviews before visiting a business, and 94% of consumers would use a business with a 4-star rating or higher. So Google has actually created this consumer journey themselves, and they've identified 2 points in a consumer journey that are that absolute most critical with respect to somebody deciding to do business with you. Again, Google understands that creating stimulus, which is the first red point here, is still very important. So advertising your products and services and building awareness for your products and services is very important. However, the next step, which is one of the most important in the eyes of Google, is making sure that it's easy for people to find your products and services online. So making sure that you rank well in Google, making sure that you have lots of positive reviews that talk about your business. That's a critical aspect of today's consumer journey. The other element that's very, very important in the eyes of Google is the post-purchase experience. So allowing your customers to share their experience not only with family and friends, but also sharing their experience through social media and creating Facebook posts and tweeting about your product or service and leaving reviews for you. So sharing their experience online, because that all adds up to what people find about your business when they research you. So again, 2 points in the consumer journey that Google has identified as critical is the research phase, so when people are looking for information about you, and the post-purchase experience. So, what sort of experience did you have? So looking at each of these points in a little bit more detail, when we look at interest and awareness, you could consider using a combination of traditional and digital advertising to generate interest and awareness. So social media, search advertising, email marketing, text marketing, loyalty programs, online display ads. So they're those banners and the boxes that we all see when we visit different websites. Newspapers, magazines, radios, they're all wonderful platforms for generating interest and awareness for a product or service or a business. In the search phase, it's very important for you, again, to make it easy for people to find you online. So making sure you have a strong presence across search platforms like Google, Bing, Yahoo, Apple Maps, different business directories is critical as well. And then the next step, reputation. So let's say, for example, you've built up a great level of awareness, you've spent some money advertising your products or services, you've made it easy for people to find you. You want to make sure that information that they find is positive and credible, and that it leads to them wanting to do business with you. So when a potential customer uses ratings and reviews and recommendations to help them compare choices, this affects the zero moment of truth. So will they do business with you based on what they've found? So, one of the things you can do to make sure that what they find is credible is create lots of content. So blogs and articles. Look at a review generation campaign. Social media, asking your family and friends to share positive experiences they've had with your business is critical. The other thing that's critical in the consumer journey is the conversion point. So again, you've built some awareness, you've made it easy for people to find you, you've distributed and people are consuming good quality information that leads them to your website. Now, the next critical point is making it easy for people to do business with you. So when a potential customer finally ends up on your website, you need to make it as easy for them to make a booking or ask a question or just engage with you. So depending on what your conversion point looks like, whether it's a phone call or somebody filling in a form or somebody filling out a request for a quote, you need to make it easy for consumers and for people to find that. And then lastly, again, we need to make it easy for people to share their awesome experiences they've had with you. So, finally, it's important to do everything you can to encourage happy customers to return again and to tell others about you. So encourage them to write a review or post on social media, and of course, invite them back. Now, the customer journey in 2019 looks a little bit like this in its entirety. We can see Stimulus is built with all of these products and services, so email, text marketing, loyalty programs, video ads, TV, billboard, display advertising, newspaper, magazine, radio, word of mouth. They're all wonderful for building awareness in Stimulus. In the search category or the findability category, organic search, so SEO, which we'll talk a little bit in a moment. Pay-per-click, so those are the Google ads. Making sure that you're listed in all the different maps and directories are important. In the reputation or research phase, make sure you create lots of blogs and articles and encourage people to leave reviews and talk about your business on social media. Conversion, Make sure your website is easy to convert people. So you could look at adding things like live chat widgets and online booking forms. If you sell your products and services online, an e-commerce based store. And then lastly, advocacy. So again, encourage people to share their experience by writing a social media post or leaving a review or even writing a blog post if they're a business themselves. So that's a look at today's customer journey. Now, the risk reward in this type of strategy and this type of environment that we live in now, let's say you've done a great job building awareness. You're easy to find on Google, but there's a number of negative reviews on Facebook and people are talking negatively about you on Twitter. What ends up happening is you have got that potential client or potential customer to a point in their consumer journey that they're ready to purchase, but they don't trust you. So you basically push them to your competitor. Now, the good news in that is it works in reverse as well. So how do you build a solid reputation online? Reputation management is simply being intelligent about your online reputation and also how others view your business. So reputation management can be broken up into two areas: business and social media listings and reviews. So let's take a look at these. So 97% of consumers find local businesses info on the web, and 90% of consumers make decisions based on what online reviews say. So, the formatting's a little off here. Everyone and their dog has an opinion. So, just had the worst meal of my life at XYZ restaurant in Winnipeg. The fries were soggy, the service was terrible. Worst restaurant ever. Best poutine ever. Oh my God, have to try XYZ poutine in Winnipeg. It was incredible. These types of comments that people are leaving equate to them generating a positive reputation for themselves. Even the dog, I like bacon and I think everyone should know. Now the thing is, they're sharing those opinions and sharing their comments online, but they're not just sharing them on Facebook anymore. And they're not just sharing them on Twitter. They're sharing them in a bunch of different places. They're sharing them on TripAdvisor, on Yelp, Google Reviews, Bing, Kijiji, Foursquare, weblocal.ca, the Yellow Pages directory. We're sharing our experiences in lots and lots of different places online. 2.23 billion users on Facebook, 490 million monthly page views on TripAdvisor, 171 million reviews left on Yelp, 500 million tweets sent per day, and 4.2 billion posts liked on Instagram every day. It's a lot of people engaging and talking about products and services and businesses every single day. So 2/3 of people are actually more likely to buy from you if they find positive comments about your business online. And half are less likely to buy if those comments are negative. Now, interestingly enough, an improvement of a restaurant's average Yelp score can increase revenue by up to 6%. So this is a perfect example of how your reputation directly affects your revenue and the amount of business that you do. So just by improving your reputation by 1 star, if you're a food-related business, you could increase your revenue by 6%. So the fact is, consumers are now controlling conversations, and users trust user-generated content more than they do traditional media. So when a tweet like this goes out from StubHub, thank God it's Friday, I can't wait to get out of this stub-sucking hellhole. Now that was obviously a disgruntled employee that just wanted to get out. Or a status like this, oh my God, I hate my job. No one listens to anything I say, even when I'm just trying to make our customers' lives easier. Or a bad review like this, the worst experience I've ever had, I do not recommend. it's important for you to know where these came from and how to deal with them, how to handle them. Because your reputation is not only about what you tell people you are, it's about what others say as well. You could tell people that you are the best business on the face of the planet. But if they do a quick Google search and they find a bunch of negative reviews about your business, then your reputation is going to take a hit. So your reputation is not only what you tell people you are, it's about what consumers and customers say you are as well. So it's important that you try and develop a digital presence that has a good amount of visibility and you have a good reputation as well. So if there are lots of user-generated content associated to your profiles, the strength of your reputation will increase. So meaning, if you have a Facebook account and you have a Google My Business account and you have a Yelp account or a Yellow Pages account, and people are leaving reviews and they're talking about you and they're sharing their experience, that's going to improve your reputation and your visibility online. So how do you develop a winning reputation that's both positive and visible? Well, you should focus on these things: listings and visibility, reviews and mentions, competition monitoring, and social marketing. So with respect to visibility, visibility is about making sure customers can find you online. You need to make sure that you're listed in as many different listing platforms as possible. Now, this is going to differ for everyone depending on the industry you're in. There are different business directories and websites that might be more appropriate for you to be listed in. So for example, TripAdvisor and Yelp, those two are huge with the food industry and the restaurant industry. Maybe not so much with a car wash. But look for as many different places as possible to list your business on. And also make sure that when you do list your business on these directories, that the information that you provide to them is consistent across all platforms. There's nothing worse than 4 different listings and the wrong contact info. So let's say, for example, I need a plumber. So I type in ABC Plumbing, and then I get a bunch of different listings that come up in Google with incorrect or conflicting information. How do I know which one is correct? And that's why it's so important to make sure that your listing data is accurate as well, because it drives us crazy. So accurate listings not only make your customers happy, but they make Google happy as well. The more listings you have and the more accurate your listing score, the higher up Google will rank you in their search engine. So listings are very, very important. Reviews and mentions. So online reviews are marketing gold. There's 3 steps to review success. Number 1, if somebody leaves a review for you, it's important to engage with them. It's important to thank them for their review and important to show that you appreciate that they've taken the time to leave you a review. A great example of this is, what would you do if somebody was reviewing your store, like in store right now? You would engage with them. You would talk to them. You would talk to them about their experience. The second step to review success is using them as management tools. If you're getting a bunch of great reviews that talk about a particular employee, for example, you could use those reviews as an opportunity to provide accolades and to congratulate that staff member on a great job. You can use them for goal setting. Whereas bad reviews, if you're getting a bunch of bad reviews on Google, for example, and perhaps it's customer service related, or perhaps there's lots of bad reviews about a particular product or service that you offer, you can use that to enhance your product offering or engage in more staff training. So you can use those reviews as management tools as well. And then the last step to review success is harvesting user-generated content. By encouraging customers to leave online reviews, you can use those in your marketing materials. So, publish your review highlights on your website, and if you have a brochure, in your brochures, use that user-generated content. I'm just going to take a quick break right now and see if we have any questions, and then I'll come back. Okay, we do have a question here. So in the car washing industry, there are many car washes that experience bad reviews on sites such as Yelp that are unfounded and perhaps in dispute with the washers due to perhaps damage on a vehicle that was on the vehicle prior to the wash, and then the owner vehicle attempts to blame the car wash. Okay, so how do you recommend these sites address the negative comments and reviews? Yeah, that's a great question. So unfortunately, if somebody leaves a negative review, it's actually not very easy to get rid of it. Our advice is to always address the review. So if somebody's left a terrible review, one of the best practices that we use is we'll respond to the review and say something like this. Look, we're really sorry to hear that you had a bad experience. We'd love to learn more about what happened, and we'd like to try and address the issue. Could you please give us a call on this number or email us on this email address? You always want to address negative reviews offline. The last thing you want to do is get into an argument with a customer in that review platform. Now, if there is an obvious let's say, for example, a competitor leaves a review and you know that it's a competitor and you know that the review is not correct and it's made up, there are mechanisms that you can file a request to platforms like Google and Yelp to check those out. So yeah, always a good idea to deal with those negative reviews offline, though. Okay, I will come back to the presentation now. Okay, and we'll address any more questions we get a little bit later on. So monitoring the competition. Monitor the competition and outdo them. One of the ways you can boost your digital presence and your digital reputation is to just appear higher and do more than what your competitors do. So post on social media more than they do. Aim for better reviews. Compare placement in searches for different keywords and develop content around weaker ranking terms. So what that means is, let's say you are a convenience store and you have a brand new product that you'd like to promote. So what you can actually do is create content focused on that product and pop that content onto your website so that when people are searching for that type of product or service in Google, you have a better chance of showing up in searches and at the top of searches. Because your website is relevant to their keyword. And then the other thing you can do, of course, is watch for their offers and jump in at the right time. Social marketing is also very important in helping to build and establish a strong digital reputation. Now, it's one thing to monitor your reputation, but it's also important to build it. We've spoken a lot about monitoring your reputation, but how do you build it? So successful social marketing is really about three things. It's about building a fan base, an engaged and interested fan base. It's about using social media to generate leads. And it's about utilizing the awesome power of social media for customer service purposes as well. So there are three ways that you can really build fans and build a fan base on social media. One is to post interesting and relevant content. Now, it's important to create and to share content that's varied. You don't want to just constantly tell people how awesome you are. You want to vary that content. So, share some special deals, share some offers, maybe some behind the scenes type content. And then, you can also just share interesting content that you think your audience might be interested in. An example of that, we manage the social media posting for a number of restaurants. So we obviously share special deals and offers that they have available, but we also share some behind the scenes type content of them prepping food and the chefs at work. And then we also just share interesting health related posts as well. So the restaurant that we look after is focused on offering healthy options. So we talk about that. We talk about how, different vegetables have different levels of vitamins and things like that. So share interesting and relevant content. Connect with influencers. So turn potential customers and loyal fans into active brand ambassadors. So an example of this, again, I'll use a restaurant as an example. There are tons and tons of food bloggers and people who talk about restaurants on social media. So as a restaurant, on behalf of our client, we've actually reached out to those influencers and asked them to share our posts and to share the information that we provide. In return, we also invite them to come and have a free meal on occasions and share their experience in visiting us and having a free meal. So connect with local influencers and get them to act as brand ambassadors for you. And then, of course, as I said earlier, create special deals and coupons specific to social media. That way you can track what deals and offers are working. Now, all of those things that we just spoke about are great to help you build a fan base. But building a fan base doesn't always mean you're going to get more business. You could have 1 million followers, but that doesn't mean they're going to turn into customers. An example, a plumber. Who's really going to like a plumber or a locksmith on Facebook anyway? The fact is, though, consumers are declaring their intentions on social media. And those intentions can be real-time leads. So for example, let's say you are a locksmith. Do you know how many people right now tweet about locking their keys in their car? Tons and tons and tons and tons of them. Or if you're a real estate agent, I'm in Winnipeg. So how many people do you think are moving to Winnipeg right now? Tons and tons and tons and tons of them. Social media gives you the opportunity to connect with people who are ready and willing to purchase. But once you've connected with them, it's important to keep them happy. Facebook, Twitter, they're all incredible customer service tools to help strengthen your reputation. So for example, terrible customer service at Wilkinson's Clothing. I'm not impressed at all. And then Wilkinson's Clothing responds and says, sorry to hear that. Is there anything we can do to help? So 65% of people actually think social media is better at addressing their issues and their concerns than call centers. Now, a personal experience I've had with this, my wife booked us a trip through TripAdvisor to Vegas a couple of years ago. And there was a screw up with the booking. TripAdvisor billed us twice or something like that. Sorry, not TripAdvisor, Expedia. So my wife called them, she emailed them, we didn't get any response. But as soon as she tweeted at them and put that, she hashed or she tagged them into the tweet, they responded within minutes and addressed the issue right away. So social media has become a wonderful tool to provide great customer service. So what's the recap? The recap is consumers are controlling conversations. Brands and businesses are no longer exclusively what they say they are. Your business and your brand is largely defined by consumers and by customers. Monitoring your reputation isn't enough. You need to know what your customers are saying, as well as how to manage that info and build your reputation as well. And social media isn't just about followers and likes. It can also be used to generate leads and conduct customer service in order to gain return on investment. So that's just a quick overview of the digital landscape and how to deal with the digital environment today. Hopefully you've got a few points out of that you can use in your own businesses. As a bit of a bonus for attending the webinar today, I'm going to just quickly show you here. If you go to TMD Winnipeg, so tmdwinnipeg.ca at the end of the webinar, and this is something that we're offering in conjunction with Convenience and Car Wash, and then go to the menu bar up here and go to free report. Free of charge for you guys only. If you fill in this short questionnaire, you'll receive a free digital snapshot report. So we'll actually analyze your business's listing presence, your review score, your social media presence, any advertising that you're doing, your SEO, and also your website we'll do an analysis of. So completely free of charge, just to give you an understanding of how you're currently situated from a digital standpoint, and some recommendations on how to improve that. Okay, so a couple more questions have come through here. So we'll see what they are. How would or could I promote to our community and perhaps to a traveler that our store can provide you with big city products or services? Would we list the products or services? Should we have a Facebook page? We don't have a lot of staff, so we can't keep our site current. Okay, yeah, so yeah, absolutely. One of the things that you would be able to do, and I'll back up and talk specifically about listings. There are some awesome platforms out there that will enable you to create one listing and send that information to a bunch of different websites and a bunch of different directories. So for example, the listing score in the report that we're going to provide those attendees today for free, our listing score actually monitors like 40 or 50 different major listing platforms to see whether the business is listed there and whether the information is consistent and accurate. So what you can do is actually create one listing and send it to multiple places. So that's a way that you can save lots of time in helping you build a portfolio, a listing portfolio. Yes, Facebook page is very important, not only from a customer standpoint, because all of our customers are on Facebook, but also from a technical standpoint as well. Google likes to see businesses that have active social media presence. So, you know, the more social platforms that you're on and that you're active with, the better quality your reputation is going to be and the higher up you're going to appear in Google. Another question here. So, they're doing social media, what should they focus on? Okay, so what should small retailers focus on on social media? Again, I would think about who your target audience is, and provide interesting and engaging and relevant content for that audience. A perfect example of that is, you know, just because you like cat videos or you enjoy watching politically motivated videos, it doesn't mean your customers are going to. You need to think about, who are my customers and what types of information and what types of posts would they like to see? So, perhaps share some special deals and offers on occasions. Share some of that behind the scenes stuff. If you're a business that is a little bit more lighthearted and you like to have fun with your customers, then perhaps tell a joke every Thursday. You just want to create some interesting and engaging content for people. Okay. Another question has just come in. Can we target our social media posts to seasonal traffic, i.e. snowmobilers, boaters, campers? Absolutely you can. One of the wonderful things that Facebook gives you the ability to do is get very, very specific with who your audience is and what their interests are. So, for example, as a business on Facebook, I can say, I want my post to only show up for people who have shown an interest in snowmobiling or boating or camping, or who have shopped at a major retailer of camping and boating related products and services. So yes, you can absolutely target people or the ideal people with your posts and your ads on social media. That's one of the most powerful aspects of it. Okay, I think that is all of the questions. Again, hopefully you've enjoyed that and you've got a few hints and tips out of that you can use in your own businesses. Thank you so much for joining us today. And just please keep an eye out for Convenience and Car Wash emails promoting the next webinar that will be coming up. I believe we're looking, or I believe Brenda and the team at Convenience and Car Wash are looking at having another one in early to mid-January. So check that out, and also make sure you visit the Convenience and Car Wash website. I'll just show you now. Visit the Convenience and Car Wash website and check out the webinars page for the upcoming webinars. So the webinars page can be found over here under the Contact Us button. You click on webinars, the next webinar will come up here. So this is the information for today's webinar, but the next one will be up very soon, and you can register right there on the page. So yeah, please do that. Thanks again for your time. Okay, bye for now.